Hello, ladies. It is Jamila McMallow. I am a life and relationship strategist for powerful, driven women coaches and business owners. And I am hopping on here tonight because I want to talk to you about what exactly is an unhealthy relationship with your goals. What does that mean? If you've read any of my content or read any of my posts, you might have seen me mention that a few times. You might be like, okay, well, what is she talking about? Like, isn't a goal a good thing? How could you have an unhealthy relationship with a goal? So I'm going to share 3 ways that you really can examine whether or not you might have an unhealthy relationship with your goals. Okay. So the first one is, when it comes to a goal, you want to really ask yourself, how do I treat myself in the pursuit of this goal? How am I treating myself in the pursuit of this goal? Am I relentlessly browbeating myself, pummeling myself? You know, it's one thing, like I had this image of from a movie where this football player in high school, and the coach is like going alongside him, yelling, come on, and getting him to move across the line. And there's this other kid on his back. Well, the coach is not yelling derogatory things at him. He's saying, come on, let's go. But if you're being honest with yourself when it comes to you and what you're saying to yourself in your head, are you really saying things that are encouraging? Or are you saying things like, come on, get it together, you could do better, are you really being negative and harsh with yourself in the pursuit of this goal? Are you not taking care of yourself? Like, are you giving up sleep? Are you neglecting your self-care? Are you neglecting the things that are really feeding and pouring into you because you think, well, once this is done, then I'll focus on all of that. So the first area that you want to examine when it comes to your goal is, how am I treating myself in the pursuit of this goal? Am I relentlessly browbeating myself? Am I neglecting some habits that I ought to be, continuing to do in caring for myself? And am I making the goal more important than myself? Just acting like if I don't achieve this, then that says something about me, right? The second way to know whether or not your relationship with your goals is unhealthy is, how is this goal affecting your relationship with your husband? How's your personal life looking? Okay. And if you don't have a husband, whether you have a husband or you don't, how's your personal life looking? How are your personal relationships going? What priority are you giving them in relationship to this goal? Now, I'm going to speak it from the standpoint of most powerful, driven women, business owners, and that is, the business tends to take precedent. Why? Because being powerful and driven means you're probably a high performer, a high achiever, someone who goes after things, puts like 1,000% into it, and then goes extra and beyond. So when it comes to your personal life, that's a little bit of a different side of you. That's the emotional side. That requires you to be vulnerable, to tap into the softer side of you. But for this goal, if it's your business or whatever, typically your goal, how you focus it, is from a very harsh, masculine, relentless push way of going after it. Okay. There is no, emotional vulnerability, and I'm just, floating my way through. No, you're like, come on. And if you're like that in your head, see, here's the thing. In your personal life, you could physically be sitting across from your husband and he's talking and you're, eating dinner or whatever. You can be physically sitting in your kid's room, with them while they're playing, etc. But are you present? Are you present mentally and emotionally, or are you checked out because you're focusing on the goal and what you're going to do next and what you need to do now, who you need to call, and this idea and that? Is that where your mind is always racing? Almost as if whenever you get a goal, you become obsessed. You focus in on it. Hey, girl, you just focus in on it. And the next thing you know, everything else kind of pales in comparison. I get it. I totally get it, because I'm that way. When I get focused on something, it is tunnel vision all the way. It is like boom. And if I say I'm going to do something, if I set a goal and I'm saying it's going to happen, it's done. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's done. And so if you're like that, then you understand what I'm saying as to how you need to be careful navigating this because you could potentially end up sacrificing or not prioritizing your personal relationships, which, by the way, are more important than any business or financial goal. Because at the end of the day, that's the stuff that's actually going to matter. Okay. And I'm not saying that money is not important, that you don't need to earn an income to pay your bills, et cetera, et cetera. What I'm saying is it's not more important than your personal relationships. Okay. Like I said, at the end of the day, that's what's going to matter. Okay. Now, the last area that I want you to examine when it comes to really determining whether or not you may have an unhealthy relationship with your goals is, what are your expectations? Do you expect this goal, when you reach it, do you expect that it's going to bring you happiness? Do you expect that it's going to make you feel like you're enough? Like you're finally worthy. This finally proves I deserve to be where I am. I deserve to have what I have because I did it. I did it. Are you expecting that the goal is going to bring about these feelings within you that should already exist? So is the goal something outside of you that you are expecting to change how you view and see yourself? That's an unhealthy relationship with a goal. I did a video yesterday talking about looking outside. No, I did do a video, or I did a post, but about looking outside of yourself for happiness, looking outside of yourself to change how you feel about you, when that work is internal. And when I say looking outside, I don't mean outside help, like from a guide, a coach, whatever. Not talking about that. I'm talking about you expecting some outside experience, or maybe getting into a relationship with a good man to somehow make you all of a sudden feel validated, worthy, important, lovable, all those things that come from the inside out. Inside out. And so if you have any sort of expectations wrapped up in your goal that have to do with your self-concept, your self-belief, what you think you're worthy of, what you think you're deserving of, how you see yourself. If you think this goal is going to be just what you need to hit to finally feel like, I'm good enough, or see, that proves it, then you are sadly mistaken. Excuse me. Because again, like I said, it comes from the inside out. And what you'll find, and I guarantee you, because if you're powerful driven, this ain't the first goal you done went after. You went after several goals because you're saying you're successful. You're successful. And see, that's kind of the flip side of it, because this has worked for you so far. It has worked for you getting where you are. You did well in school. You did well in your career. You launched your business. You did what you needed to do. Now you have great clients. You're making good money. You're doing all these wonderful and amazing things, which is kind of reinforcing the idea or the concept that the way you have done things has actually been great. But here's a couple questions to ask yourself. Are you happy? Do you feel at peace? Or do you feel stressed? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you constantly feel like it's this up and down fluctuation of go, 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 hit the goal and whoosh? And then here's the thing. I know some women sometimes will hit the goal and crash, and then ramp back up, hit a higher goal and crash. After they push themselves and hit the goal, they crash. And then they start over. What about if you just didn't have all of this stuff wrapped up in reaching the goal, and you just, went about reaching it, reach that goal, and then you reach the next goal and so on, instead of this sharp up and down or this attaching all this weight to it, okay? Because let me tell you, there is no goal or box that you could check that's going to change the way that you see yourself, because that's going on in here in the space between your two ears. It's linked to your limiting beliefs. It's linked to your trauma. It's linked to your past. It's linked to your emotional wounds that you refuse to face and deal with. All of that stuff is the stuff that actually needs your energy and attention to change how you see yourself. But as long as you're in go, 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 do mode, you're completely distracted from that. And you do experience a measure of satisfaction every time you reach a goal, which makes you feel a little bit, okay, I'm awesome. And so it kind of eases in that sense of unhappiness that you feel within, or that sense of negativity you feel about yourself. It just kind of distracts you temporarily, but then you feel it and you're like, okay, time on to the next thing. And here's the other part of that. When you do reach your goal, you don't really celebrate it. You just jump right on to the next thing. Hey, how you doing? You just go on to the next thing. Just go on to the next goal. And you never really stop to celebrate or appreciate how far you've come, what you've done, and allow yourself to really be content and satisfied, not stagnated, like I did mention that in another video, but enough so that you understand that moving on to the next goal is just something you desire to do. You desire to expand. You desire to have more in whatever category, or to do more, to have a greater impact in your business, whatever. But it's not linked to who you are as a person. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are who you are, and that's outside of what your business is or your money goals or whatever, etc. And I'm just using that as an example as far as goals go. Because like I said, powerful, driven women who are business owners tend to put what type of goals ahead of everything else? Business goals. Because you're really good at what you do. You have amazing clients. You know, and you enjoy it. That's the other part, is you love it, you enjoy it. So that's why it's so easy to slip into this way of being, and why I'm speaking into this for you, because I really want you to stop and examine. And I'm going to review for you, again, those 3 areas that you want to do self-examination on to make sure that you don't have an unhealthy relationship with your goals. And that's, first of all, how are you treating yourself in pursuit of this goal? Okay. Second of all, how are you treating your husband, or your other personal relationships, your children? Are you present? Are you still making them the priority over this goal? And then third, what are your expectations for this goal? Are you expecting it to change something within you about how you see and feel about yourself? Okay. So those are 3 areas that you could examine to really determine, maybe you do have an unhealthy relationship with your goals. And I'm here to tell you, this is why I created my year-long mastermind, Emotional Mastery. Like I said, it's a year long, because the fact is, when you've been this way your entire life, it's not easy to change. And it really is simply about you currently being in a set of habits and a way of thinking, thought processes that simply need to change. And that takes time and repetition and support and accountability. And that's what I'm doing in this year-long mastermind, is really helping you to become an anchor in this next level version of yourself. In my one-on-one program, when I work with my clients for 6 months, we're doing that deep dive into that deep inner healing, addressing all those emotional wounds, clearing out all that garbage, and creating a tremendous amount of space. And we do touch on this. We step into it. But the next logical step after that is the mastermind, because once you've created all that space, once you've done all that healing, it's time to fill it in with all the good stuff. And so even if you're not a client of mine or a previous client, if you've done a lot of that deep healing and you recognize that now, okay, I've got to really maintain what I've done. I really have to make some additional shifts in how I am being. And your habits, your daily habits, your routines are what are going to allow you to be that version of yourself for good, until of course you move on to the next layer. But you'll finally understand how to do it. And here's the key. You'll finally be consistent, because consistency is the key. I get it. Like I said, when you're successful, you get the importance of mindset. You've dealt with your relationship with money, all those types of things. You're always working on yourself. Personal development is your middle name. Got it. Okay. So you get all of that. But now the key is consistency, because we can start and stop, or we can feel like something's working and then it's not working, or something can come up and we can fall off the wagon. And the way that we learn as human beings is through repetition. And so if you're not consistent, then nothing is going to stick. Okay. And the other thing about that accountability and support is you don't need someone browbeating you. You don't need to be, hey girl, how you doing? Good to see you. So you don't need that browbeating that you're already doing for yourself in your head. You actually need a place where you're going to get some compassion, some understanding, but not soft touch floating flowers. That's not you. That's not who you are. Okay. However, you are looking for, again, like I said, that strong support, but with the compassion and with the gentleness, you know? And so that's what that year-long mastermind of mine is all about. It's really supporting women who have already got the success, the business flowing, all that stuff, but just need that additional support to really continue and anchor in those ways of being that are working, and then maybe examine ones that aren't, or ones that need to be more consistent. Okay. And then here's the beautiful thing too, is it's limited to 5 women, because I'm not a person that's really into large groups, and women who function at this level really are very selective about where they spend their time, how they get their support, all those things. So it's very, very important that it, to me, be a small group so that everybody feels seen and heard, and women like us like privacy. Let's be real. We're not going to fall apart in front of a group of a whole bunch. We're just not going to do that. And so it's all, and really this mastermind is not about that. That's what my 6-month one-on-one about is, falling apart. This is all about the rebuilding, or the anchoring in, or the solidifying. So I'm really excited about it. And you could really look to that as a solution if this is something that you're struggling with, is having that unhealthy relationship with your goals. And if it is, you're welcome to DM me and learn more about it, or you can visit my website at coachjamila.com. If you're joining me here on the live, I want to thank you for watching. Please heart and share this video with another powerful, driven woman that you know who could potentially have an unhealthy relationship with her goals. Okay. And again, those 3 areas that you want to do that self-examination on are: how are you treating yourself in pursuit of this goal? How are you treating your husband or your personal relationships? And then what are your expectations for this goal? Okay. That's really where you want to really examine and take a look, because here's the thing. I want you to keep doing your thing. I want you to keep having what you want. I want you to keep winning, but I want you to do it in a way that leaves you happy, stress-free, and with your personal life and marriage intact. Okay. So let's do that. All right. So please, by all means, comment below with your thoughts on this video if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. And again, reach out to me if you'd like to. If you're watching this, because I'm also going to put this on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And again, comment below. And I am so, I'm just going to glance at the comments. Thank you, girl. Love it, love it. Thank you, thank you. So thank you again for joining me live. Thank you for watching if you're watching the replay. And this was my message for you all today. You powerful, driven, amazing women. This was my message for you today. I really want you to have a better relationship with your goals, okay? All right. I will see you again. I won't say tomorrow, but I will see you again. Bye-bye.